At my baby shower, my sister announced her pregnancy, then claimed my gifts saying I'm due first. Mom helped her load them into her car. I stayed silent until she forged my name on a $30,000 loan and a judge saw the receipts. You won't believe what my sister did at my baby shower, but what came after made me realize she wasn't just selfish, she was a criminal. It was a betrayal so deep, it forced me to cut ties with my entire family, and let me tell you, it was the hardest, most necessary thing I've ever done. Okay, so picture this, I'm 9 months pregnant, standing in my mom's living room, cake knife still in my hand. Pink balloons, a baby girl banner, the works. My family never puts this much effort into anything, especially not for me, unless it's a baby they can show off. And apparently, mine wasn't the right one. My sister, Bree, who has this perfectly flat stomach, stands up in front of everyone, clinks her glass, and with this sickening grin, shouts, "Surprise! I'm pregnant, too!" The room erupted. My mom clapped like she'd won the lottery, my aunt started sobbing, and I just smiled. What else do you do when you're about to pop, and your little sister decides your baby shower is actually her stage? Then she made a beeline for the gift table. She laughed, already grabbing one of the bigger bags, and said, "I'm due first, so I need these more." I honestly thought she was joking. Then she pulled out a boxed baby monitor, turned to me, and said, "You don't mind, right? You've got that salon money. You'll just buy more." People chuckled. My mom? She didn't even pretend to be embarrassed. She was already stacking boxes in her arms. "That's a good idea," Mom said. "We'll just load everything in Bree's car. You don't even have a crib yet, Kes. Don't overextend yourself." I watched, frozen, as my own mother carried out my stroller, the one I'd researched for weeks at 2 a.m., comparing every single review. I watched my other sister, tear the wrapping off a tiny onesie embroidered with Mila, my daughter's name. "Oh, we can get this redone," Bree chirped. "My girl's name will look cuter anyway." Everyone laughed again. My throat clamped shut. My hand shook so hard on that cake knife, I had to put it down. My daughter wasn't even born yet, and they'd already decided she didn't matter as much. I said nothing. I just kept refilling punch cups, nodding, as my own baby shower was stripped bare and loaded into my sister's trunk. My mom carried the last bag out like she was doing a charity drop-off. When it was finally quiet, my husband, Aaron, came over, put a hand on my back. "You okay?" he asked. I swallowed. "Yeah, I lied. Just tired. Look, I'm Cassidy. I'm 33, and I own Honeycomb Studio, a full-service salon in Dallas that I built from 3 chairs between a laundromat and a pawn shop. I'm good with money. Not rich, but careful. I know my business finances down to the dollar." Aaron, my husband, is 35, an electrician, and we were saving for a house before Mila came along. To my family, though? I was, and always had been, the bank. I refinanced my parents' house, paid the closing costs. Put $2,300 on my credit card for my dad's truck transmission. When Bree decided on a winery wedding instead of the courthouse, I paid for her dress, hair, and even did all the bridesmaids' makeup myself after a full Saturday at the salon, for free. I Venmo'd my mom $300 for groceries every month, even when I was skipping my own nails in Starbucks just to keep the salon lights on. If a bill was behind, they called me. Cousin needed a plane ticket? Call Cassidy. Family trip? Well, Kes has the salon. And I let them. I kept telling myself, that's what family does. They never really hid that they liked Bree more. She married on time, gave them the first grandkids, lived 5 minutes away. I was the one with the weird name, weird ideas, and the business. The little digs added up. My mother introducing Bree's kids as the grandbabies at church, then tacking on, "And this is our other daughter. She does hair." My dad asking me in front of everyone, "How's the little shop? Still hanging on?" Right after my best quarter ever. When I got pregnant, my mom's first question wasn't, "Are you happy?" It was, "Can you afford this?" So, yeah, watching them carry my baby shower out of the house like it was a Costco run shouldn't have surprised me. But it still hurt. After the shower, Aaron and I went back to our half-built nursery. We stared at the empty corner where the crib was supposed to go. We laughed, because if we didn't, I was going to sob so hard I'd pop a stitch I didn't even have yet. "We'll figure it out," I told him. We always do. We hit Facebook Marketplace, clearance aisles, and a friend of a friend whose baby had outgrown their bassinet. The nursery ended up sweet, actually. Hand-me-down crib, thrift store rocking chair, string lights from the salon's old window display. The only thing left from that shower was a single pack of size 1 diapers someone shoved under a chair. Mila was born 3 weeks later. Labor was long, messy, definitely not Instagram perfect. But when they put her on my chest, none of that mattered. She was this tiny, warm weight, with a full head of dark hair and the most serious eyes I'd ever seen. Aaron cried harder than I did. My mom came to the hospital for 20 minutes, took 3 photos making sure her face was in them, not mine, and left because traffic was bad. Bree didn't come at all. She texted, "Congrats. So happy for y'all," followed by 16 heart emojis, then a photo of a stroller she just bought. "Can I borrow your stylist discount at that baby boutique?" she asked. I was literally attached to a catheter when she sent it. The next few months were a blur of feeding schedules, late-night salon bookkeeping on my phone with Mila asleep on my chest, and my mother's occasional drop-in to check the baby's head shape. She'd always follow it with comments like, "Bree's pregnancy is so hard on her. She's so tired. It's different when you're the first." Meanwhile, I was still sending my parents $300 a month, plus an extra $200 for the baby shower we never did for Bree, because Mom mentioned money was tight. I know. I should have stopped long before. I just kept telling myself, once Mila was here, once they saw her, things would change. They didn't. 4 months after Mila was born, I was in the back room at the salon, pumping between clients, when my phone lit up. It was Bree. "Emergency. Can you co-sign a loan for us? Just $30,000 for baby stuff. We found the perfect house, but we need furniture, nursery, car seat, everything." I stared at the screen, the milk machine whirring, my back aching from holding Mila at 3 a.m. I looked around at the second-hand shelves I'd bought, the towels I'd personally bleached for years, the calendar where I'd penciled in extra clients just to cover payroll during maternity leave. $30,000 for baby stuff, I typed slowly. Absolutely not. 3 dots popped up, disappeared, came back. Bree, wow. Seriously, our credit is in bad shape after everything with Tyler's job. I thought you of all people would understand. Then, forget it. I put my phone face down and went back to work. I told myself, that was it. I had finally said no. I had no idea my no didn't matter to her. 2 weeks later, a letter came instead of a text. I almost didn't open it, it looked like junk mail from the credit union. But something about the bold lettering made my stomach twist. "Welcome to your new personal loan. Co-signer Cassidy Owens." I read it 3 times. I hadn't co-signed anything. I flipped to the breakdown, loan amount $30,000. Primary borrower Brianna Owens. Co-signer, me. Monthly payments $612.73. First payment due in 30 days. Then I saw the signatures. Mine. In a handwriting that looked almost like my own if you squinted, and didn't know I looped my K differently. My heart dropped into my shoes. "Aaron!" I yelled. He came from the kitchen, holding Mila in one arm, bottle in the other. "What's wrong?" I handed him the letter. My hands were shaking so badly the paper fluttered. His jaw clenched as he read. "You didn't?" he asked. "No," I said. I told her no. In writing. He set Mila in her bouncer, which squeaked that stupid, cheerful way, and looked at me. "Then we're not letting this slide," he said. "Call them." The actual financial boundary happened in a boring office under fluorescent lights that made everyone look sick. First, I called the credit union. "Hi, this is Cassidy Owens. I need to dispute a loan I supposedly co-signed." I did not authorize it. Hold music, transfers, security questions. Finally, a woman named Karen came on the line. Miss Owens, I see your name on the application. We have your signature and a copy of your driver's license on file. Then your file is wrong, I said, my voice shaking, but level. I did not sign anything. I want to file a fraud report right now. She hesitated. We don't usually see this in family situations. I own a business, I snapped. I know what fraud looks like. Either help me start the process or connect me to someone who can. I spent 3 hours that day filling out a fraud affidavit, emailing screenshots of my text with Bree where I said absolutely not, sending a copy of my actual signature, calling the 3 credit bureaus, and putting a fraud alert and temporary freeze on my credit. Then I walked into my bank in person, Mila strapped to my chest, and asked to close every joint account or authorized user card that had my parents or sister attached to it. The banker looked uncomfortable. These cards are in good standing, he said. Are you sure you want to remove them? It could impact their credit history. I'm sure, I said. Take my mother off the card, close the joint savings account, stop the automatic transfer to their checking every month. He clicked through the screen slowly, like he expected me to change my mind. On the last confirmation page, he turned the monitor slightly. Once I click confirm, he said, this can't be undone without new applications from all parties. Good, I replied. Click it. He did. Something in my chest loosened. It wasn't joy. It was more like cutting a rope that had been digging into my skin for years. I walked out of that bank with Mila asleep against me, my debit card still warm in my pocket, and one clear sentence finally forming in my head: I'm not your backup bank anymore. The backlash started that night. First, a text from my mom: your sister said you're making a big deal over a little help. She used your name because she panicked. Can you just let it go? You know they'll pay it back. Then another: also, why did our card stop working at the grocery store? There must be a mistake with the bank. Call them and fix it, please. Then the calls. Bree, back to back, until I blocked her. Tyler, her husband, leaving voicemails about how I was destroying my niece's future over a misunderstanding. My dad, gruff and self-righteous, demanding to know what this situation at the bank was. I didn't answer any of them. They came to the house the next day instead. I saw their silhouettes through the frosted glass and almost pretended I wasn't home, but Aaron was beside me before I could decide. Open it, he said quietly. I'm here. I cracked the door. My parents and Bree were on the porch. My dad's arms were crossed. My mom clutched her purse like a weapon. Bree, in maternity leggings and an oversized sweatshirt, was already playing the part of exhausted pregnant martyr. How could you do this? My mom demanded, before I could even say hello. Freezing your own credit, calling the bank, cutting us off? Are you trying to embarrass us? Bree pushed in front, eyes already shining with fake tears. It was just a form, she said. We were at the branch and the woman said you'd probably say yes anyway, so I just signed. I had your license photo from when we needed it for the wedding venue. We needed the money, the baby comes next month. Kes, what was I supposed to do? Let my child suffer? I stared at her. At the woman who had walked out of my baby shower with arms full of my gifts and said, you can buy more. You're not going to jail, my dad barked, like he could order the world around. We're family. You're going to call that bank and tell them you made a mistake. I felt Aaron shift beside me, but I lifted a hand. I had to say this myself. No, I said. I'm not. My mom's mouth dropped open. What do you mean, no? You can't do this to your sister. I didn't do anything to her, I countered. She did this. She committed fraud. She stole my identity, and she used my name after I told her no. I'm not fixing it. I've removed all of you from my accounts. I'm done sending money. I'm done co-signing. I'm done being involved in anything financial with any of you. You're being dramatic, my mom snapped, over baby things. The statement says Sephora, a Vegas hotel, and a baby moon Airbnb, I shot back. That's what the bank told me. Bree flushed. That was before we got serious, she muttered. You mean before you got caught, Aaron said. My dad stepped forward like he might try to push past us. Aaron moved too, blocking the doorway with his body. You need to calm down, my dad said to him, stabbing a finger at his chest. This is between us and our daughter. Aaron's voice stayed level. If it involves her name, our home, and our child's future, it involves me, he said. We're not your customers, and she's not your ATM. My mom tried the soft voice next, the one she uses on church ladies. Kes, honey, she said. Think about Mila. She needs family. Don't you want her to grow up with cousins? With grandparents? I thought about a living room full of women cheering while my baby stroller got loaded into someone else's car. About my mom's quick 20-minute hospital visit and how she posted a photo of Bree's ultrasound later that same day with the caption, "Can't wait to meet this perfect angel," and never once posted Mila's name. She needs people who won't steal from her mother and then call it love, I said. You all had years to be our family. You chose to be my creditors instead. My dad's face twisted. You're going to regret this when that baby grows up and wants to know why she doesn't see us. I'll tell her the truth, I said. You didn't act like grandparents. You acted like loan officers. I didn't slam the door. I just closed it slowly while my sister yelled that I was ruining her life. Maybe I was. Maybe I was finally ruining the life they'd built on my back. The bank moved faster than my family. They froze the loan, pending investigation. They requested handwriting analysis and pulled camera footage from the branch where the paperwork had been signed. It was Bree, clear as day, belly out, sliding my forged signature across the counter. The credit union decided to press charges. It wasn't just my complaint, it was their risk. $30,000 is not a little misunderstanding to a lender. The DA's office called me a month later. We'll need you to testify, the attorney said. Just about your relationship, your text where you refused, and that you didn't give permission. The idea of sitting in a courtroom across from my sister made me nauseous. But the idea of not doing it, of letting this become just family drama, made me sicker. Court was beige and cold and smelled like old coffee. I wore black slacks that still felt too big since pregnancy, a blouse I'd worn to my first salon lease meeting, and left Mila with Aaron's mom. My parents sat behind Bree on the defense side, both in their Sunday best, like they were at a church potluck instead of a fraud hearing. My dad refused to meet my eyes. My mom kept dabbing her nose with a tissue she didn't need. Bree looked small and very pregnant, which I knew was part of the strategy. Her lawyer kept calling her a young mother who made a mistake. I took the stand. They asked me basic questions: my name, my job, how long I'd owned my salon, whether I understood the responsibilities of co-signing. Have you co-signed loans before? The DA asked. Yes, I said. For my parents' refinance and my dad's truck. I also had my mother on a credit card for emergencies. I removed all of those after this incident. Why? Because I realized none of them respected my no. They saw my name as something to use, not protect. He showed the screenshot of my text that said absolutely not. Did you at any point change your mind and agree to co-sign this loan? No. Did you give your sister permission to use your driver's license? No. Did you sign any paperwork related to this loan? No. Then it was Bree's lawyer's turn. He tried to make it messy. Isn't it true, he said, that you've helped your family financially before? That it's not unusual for you to assist them? It's true I've helped, I said. It's also true I finally stopped. He tried to suggest maybe I'd given verbal consent and forgotten, that maybe Aaron had pressured me to turn against my family, that I was bitter over baby shower drama. You were angry that your sister announced her pregnancy at your baby shower? Yes, he asked. Yes, I said plainly. I was also 9 months pregnant and still managed not to commit a felony. A couple of people in the gallery coughed to cover their laughs. The judge didn't smile, but his eyes flicked up for a second. Then the bank's fraud investigator testified. He brought an itemized list of where the $30,000 went. It turned out baby stuff included $4,200 at a high-end furniture store, sectional sofa, marble coffee table, statement mirror, $1,700 at a luxury handbag boutique, $3,800 for a baby moon in Vegas, $2,500 at an electronics store, 2 new phones and a gaming console, a $6,000 wire transfer as a down payment on a content creator course Bree had found online, $2,300 labeled gender reveal photography and decor, and $1,100 at an upscale spa. Yes, there were baby items in there too, a fancy crib, a top-of-the-line stroller, a designer diaper bag, but most of it was lifestyle. When the list was read out loud, the judge's eyebrows climbed higher and higher. He finally looked at Bree, then at my parents. "Is there any dispute," he asked, "that this money was spent as described?" Her lawyer tried to spin it. Stress, hormones, social pressure. My sister cried about wanting to give her baby the best start. The judge wasn't buying it. "In my courtroom," he said, "wanting the best for your child starts with not committing crimes. And not saddling your sister with a debt she explicitly refused to take on." In the end, Bree took a plea. Guilty to identity theft and bank fraud. Reduced sentence, 2 years of probation, restitution to the credit union, mandatory financial counseling, a felony on her record. The judge was explicit, the cosigner was cleared. My credit would be removed from the loan entirely. My parents stared at me like I'd stabbed them. As if I'd swung the pen that first day at the bank instead of Bree. The real fallout didn't come from the judge. It came from my mother's phone. She called the next day, sobbing. "You happy now?" she cried. "You've ruined your sister's life. How is she supposed to get a job with this on her record? How is she supposed to raise that baby? You couldn't just help and keep this in the family." "She ruined her own life when she stole my name," I said. "And she can raise her baby the same way I'm raising mine, with what she can afford." "You're cruel," my mom spat. "Ever since you opened that salon, you think you're better than everyone. Money has made you selfish." "No," I said quietly. "Money made you think I was responsible for everyone else." She switched tactics like a DJ. "Fine," she snapped. "But don't expect us to come around for that baby's birthday. Don't expect us to show up and pretend everything is okay. You turned your back on your own blood." I thought about Mila's tiny fingers curled around mine. About 3 a.m. feedings and pumping in the back room of my salon, and refusing to put anything on a credit card because I was tired of owing people. "I didn't turn my back," I said. "I finally faced the reality you kept handing me. To you, I'm a wallet, not a daughter." "Don't speak to your mother like that," my dad barked in the background. Aaron was in the kitchen, listening. He mouthed, "Hang up." Instead, I took a breath. "For what it's worth," I said. "I hope you get your finances together, but you're officially off mine. I won't fund a family my daughter isn't part of." Then I ended the call. I blocked their numbers after that. Blocked Breeze. Blocked Tyler's ranting Facebook posts where he called me a traitor. The silence afterward felt heavy, but for the first time in years, my bank app did not make my stomach drop. Mila turned 1 last month. We didn't do a big thing. No balloon arches or custom cookies with her name in gold. I baked a simple chocolate cake in a round pan that stuck a little, so I covered the messy side with strawberries. We strung up photo clips from her first year across the living room, first bath, first salon visit, first time she tried to eat a lemon and glared at it like it had personally betrayed her. Aaron's mom was there, holding Mila every chance she got, whispering prayers over her hair. 2 of my stylists came, bringing thrift store toys and a pack of bows they'd made themselves. One of my longtime clients dropped by with tiny sneakers for when she starts running around the shop. My cousin Tasha showed up, too. She was the only one from my side of the family who sat in the back row at court, arms crossed, eyes hard, watching the judge read out the spending list. "I always knew. They were using you," she'd said after the hearing. "But seeing it on paper like that. Girl, I'm ashamed I didn't say something sooner. At the party, Tasha picked up Mila, who studied her for a second, then immediately went for her hoop earring. Hi, birthday girl, Tasha said softly. You know your mama did something brave for you, right? She made sure nobody can mess with your future. Mila babbled and smacked her in the chin with a frosting hand. We sang. Mila smashed cake. No one took anything out to their car except trash. There were 2 empty chairs at the kitchen table. I put them there on purpose, not as an invitation, but as a reminder to myself. I set them up, then put nothing on them. No jackets, no diaper bag. Just space where grandparents could have sat, if they'd chosen us over money and manipulation. When everyone had gone home and the house smelled like sugar and baby shampoo, I carried Mila into her room. The thrift store crib, the hand-me-down rocking chair, the string lights. The space we built ourselves. I settled into the rocker, and she laid her head on my chest, already half asleep. For years, my family treated my wallet like the only part of me that mattered. They proved it again and again, at dinners, on payment screens, at a baby shower where they turned my child's welcome into a shopping spree for somebody else. I used to think I could pay my way into their love. That if I gave enough money, time, gifts, they'd make room for me and my kid. But love doesn't come with an interest rate. Now, my accounts are quiet. My phone is quieter. And my daughter, who will grow up hearing the truth, is surrounded by people who show up because they want to, not because they're hoping I'll bring my checkbook. That's the life I bought the day I said absolutely not, and meant it. And I don't regret it for a second.